All right, summertime 2018, and it's the Zenith Cruzer. And, we have fun flying. Just summertime is always, those exciting times. So you can see, and as it gets close to the fall, start to bundle up a little bit. But, we have fun. What I want to show today is just, a little experience with a lesson that I quickly learned. And this is Michigan City, and this is an accidental flight into IMC. And I just want to share how I got out of it. And I also want to say I had no intention of deliberately flying into IMC. And so I thought about this experience, and I said maybe this is something to share with friends, especially our cruiser, Zenith Cruzer, and Zenith 650, and other Kid Fox, and a bunch of others flying experimentals out there. So, my phone was dead, the battery was gone. The AWAS on the airport was also gone. Somehow every summer it just breaks down, and then it takes time for them to fix it. So I don't know what the deal is with that one. But here I was, I looked up at the sky, sun was shining, everything looks good. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go get my fix. It's always an hour, sometimes hour and a little bit. And so I'm right there, not quite 75 feet, 100 feet from the ground, and I'm right into this, this fog, and that's the problem with Michigan City. It's such a beautiful place. First problem, it's too beautiful. Second problem, it's right on the lake, and so all the moisture tends to create this kind of condition. And so how was I to know this? I mean, the sun was shining, the section I looked at, and so I'm banking to the left, and I'm like, oh gosh, I got to go downwind and look for the airport, but I couldn't find the airport, so I'm like, all right, bank to the right, at least look for landmarks that are familiar, and then in that way I can get my bearing and try to head back to someplace. My intention was to get really low, but this stuff was really, really low, and I was really concerned. So I'm like, okay, well, looks like it's thickening up. So I'm like, what a misery, just wanted to have fun. And now I'm having to deal with IMC. Problem number one, the airplane is certified for VFR only. And so I didn't make any effort to put in instrumentation for IMC type deals. But the MGL EFIS that I have can do basic stuff. I mean, you can get it to get you to where you need to go, and you can flight plan, and you can do all kinds of cool stuff with it. And so I got into this clearing. What I was doing was just heading southwest, So there are two airports right around me. There's one on the left, which is LaPorte, and then there's one directly in front of me, which is Valpo, Porter County Airport. It's about 20 miles from where I was. So I could go there, or I could go to LaPorte. But then I had that option. Then I had the other option. I said, well, maybe if I use this clearing to turn around, so go a little bit further, use the clearing to turn around, set up my direct to Michigan City using the MGL EFIS, which is really cool. And then I can at least put this thing on the ground. Right in front of me there was the Interstate 94. And so with the Interstate 94, I knew exactly where I was. That interstate right there is heading to Chicago. When you turn around, the other way it's heading to Detroit. So I'm like, all right, well, that interstate winds around the airport. So there's no way I can miss the airport as long as I stay low. And, so that's the first option. And so that decision was really quickly thought about, because I said, well, I need to just go and put it back down, get it in the hangar and get out of there and go get some dinner. I was pissed because my daily flight or flying fix is now over. So I was just like really not happy. And so I don't know if I was pissed at the fog or pissed at the lake creating all that moisture. I was pissed. I'm like, all right, let's get this thing down. And so I stayed low, and I kept descending very, very little bit at a time. A lot of people say 500 feet per minute when you're heading toward the runway. No, I was going like inching down a little bit. And I kept my eyes on the trees. There's the 94, this time Interstate 94, heading toward Detroit. So it kind of winds around, and it winds around the right side of the airport. So I'm like, okay, deal is to fly as low as possible, So I knew that stuff was around 7,500 feet. So if I go down as low as possible, I could, just get to the airport. I knew when I left the runway, it was very clear. So I'm like, all right, just use that, all of that information, and that decision was okay. Stay low, and it looks like it was clear. So I'm looking for the airport. I used the 7 clicks to turn on the high intensity light, and I can't see anything. So I'm still looking. I knew I'm right there. MGL is telling me straight ahead. So I'm like, okay, everything looks cool. And then I see on the right side a little clearing in there. So, oh, yeah, that's right in front of the airport. So I'm like, yeah, I should be somewhere there. And suddenly I make out my white and red lights. I'm like, after all, I'm going to be able to put this thing down. Wow. As much as I was pissed on the one hand, I was relieved on the other. Oh, my God. I'm like, yes. Good job, MGL, EFIS. But hey, 2 lessons. 1, know the geography of your airport really well. And 2, don't panic. Just fly the airplane. Look at the Zenith Cruzer. It just performed flawlessly. I was just flying it just doing the stuff I was doing and just flying it, and the airplane just performed exquisitely. And boy, I said, here I am on the ground. I'm like, okay, well, so the third and most important thing is don't leave the ground. You don't have to leave the ground. That's what a lot of people say. But once you leave, you got to bring it back down no matter how. But you don't want to bring it back down, in any kind of uncomfortable condition. So that's lesson number 3. Check your weather. If your phone is dead, go to the, go away, go home. Go find the weather and check it out. And then check for the ceiling. If you have good enough ceiling, then you can go fly. Otherwise, don't do it. So for all those pilots out there, especially experimental and test pilots like myself who test what they build and do all the crazy stuff we do, don't do this at home. And so I learned this was purely accidental, and I'm just putting it here for learning experience. So I'll see you next time, and appreciate you watching. Have fun.